Let me show you what are the things that we need to make this tool. Okay, let me introduce the objects that we need to build up this tool. First we need some few we need few ballpoint pens tips. It's better to have a different variation in sizes. I have two small and rest of the tips are same size. Just try different sizes, then you will get interesting texture the end of the tool. You get interesting result when you're making textures. So these are the tips I have. I have 3 6 7 8 tips. I have 8 tips. uh, so those are the primary thing we need, and some iron rods. It doesn't have to be a iron rods. You can find any wood or any rods. The purpose of having this is end of the day we're gonna put this rod inside these tips, because we have to take this ink or the carbon out, and we just using only this tip, so we have something to put inside. So, and we need a super glue, and we need a cutter, and we need a plier, pointed plier, and I might use glue gun. And this is very inexpensive one-time use brushes I found in dollar store. So this is how it came, and I took off this brush part, and I just need only this handle. The purpose of having this is giving a good outlook, good grip to the tool. Then you can hold it firmly and use the tool tips. So you can use any kind of a iron, wood, or any tube for this, but this has a good outlook, good looking, and this. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of ink thinner inside this, just a little bit. Just close the lid because it's really evaporating. So I have the thinner. Now I take off the tips one by one like this. Okay. Okay, you can wipe out the all excessive ink or the carbon inside these tips and clean up like this. Go one by one. Then you'll end of the project you will get a nice outlook for tool like this. Wipe up everything, wipe out everything. Okay, these are the tips. These are the clean tips we took out from the rods. So we're gonna fix these tips to the iron rod. Okay, now I'm gonna insert these rods inside this tip like this, and put some super glue around this area to be fixed both rod and the tip. It gives a kind of extra strength like this. Okay, this is how it's gonna look like. I'm gonna put just a little bit of super glue where it's joined like this. So, okay, then this is good enough. I had to do all the same thing for rest of the tips like this, and leave it until it's get dry. Okay, this is how it's end up with. all the tips fixed to the all rods, and let me give a closer look. It doesn't matter it's look dirty right now, because we're gonna clean up this later. Or maybe if you don't mind this kind of a thing, because anyway this is going to work with clay, so clay is always messy. So only what matter is how strength it fixed to this rod. So I think this is strong enough to hold the rods and tips together. Okay, so let's move to next step. Okay, we are halfway of the project now, and I'm gonna fix two tips at a time. I have a glue gun, and I'm gonna fix these two first, like this, and keep it even level, like this. Okay, like this. Okay, in the same way you can attach all 8 tips into all together. Can attach all together, or just a little bit, and keep in one level. This. Okay, we put them inside. We put all tips and all the rod inside this first cylinder, and it's gonna look like this. And the most important part is all the tips, all the nibs has to be in one level. So I think I did pretty much good job here, and make them into center in the cylinder. And for more stronger attachment, I put some little clay inside. I think this is good enough, and this is the handle I'm gonna fix to here. So you can use any kind of a tube for this purpose, and this is part of the brush, so this has a good finishing here like this. So right now what I'm gonna do is put some more glue in between spaces, so it's gonna be more attached, so, and it's gonna be more strong. And later on we can clean this excessive ink and all kind of stuff. It's not a big deal. Use some alcohol and it will go away. It's easy. Okay, let me put some glue this outer space, then this will be more stronger. Okay, this is my glue gun, and I'm putting some extra glue around the corner, all the empty spaces, like this. Let me give a closer look. Fill all the space. And use this kind of a little hook and push them inside, so it will go in more deep level. It will go inside, more inside, and give more strength, like this. Okay, I'm going to put more glue. Because we are dealing with oil clay, all the tool has to be little extra than water-based clay. and because it's thicker and a little harder, so put more extra glue, and later on we can take off the excessive glue using blade or something. So okay, for the to be in the safe side, if you want put more glue, you can put inside the cylinder like this, so it's always stronger and it's attached from both top and bottom like this. You can fill the cylinder with glue and it gives more extra strength to the nibs or the tips. Okay, now I'm gonna fix the excessive glue inside, and I'm gonna fix the handle. We're pretty much all done. Okay, let me clean this and come back. So this is our tool, poking tool or texturing tool. Okay, this is my finished tool. This is how it came out, like texturing tool. If you can put more nibs or no more tips, bigger circle with tips, then if you are covering bigger area of texture, so that will be more helpful. But my sculptures are always smaller, and I believe this much of tips are good enough for me. Just try it out and do some experiment with this technique. Actually, this is a fun and cool technique. You too can try. Let me use this in a real sculpture and how we end up with the what kind of a texture we're gonna get. Okay, this is one of the sculpture I'm working these days, so we'll see how this work on this kind of a portrait. And this is a portrait of all person, so of course the skin always cracked and more wrinkles appears. So we'll see how this tool can make my work easier. Like this, and you can smooth with alcohol, something like that. You can smooth that out with alcohol like this. Yeah, you get pretty good skin texture. So you can see it's almost look like skin texture. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the final result. Let me give a closer look what did I received. So I believe this tool might help for your sculptures too. Just try it out with the different tip sizes and number of tips. Try to increase the number of tips and just try to get the same result, or maybe you will get more interesting result. And thank you for watching my training video.